Hi, I'm CJ and this is my RC channel. So, everything's going really well. I did some work off camera. I put on these air dams, or whatever they call them. Basically, it's designed to kind of help fill the gap between the body and the chassis and reduce the amount of air that gets in, help deflect air under the car instead of up into the body so that you get a parachuting effect. As you can see, I've gone ahead and soldered up my speed control. I finally decided on pointing it in this direction. Your speed control may vary depending on its size. My power switch I'm probably going to tuck along here and two-sided tape it here, or it's not going to really fit on there, so it's probably just going to be right here. That way I can just reach up under the body and get to it quick. This is the receiver box. As you can see, the receiver's in there. Got a little bit of an antenna stub. This receiver has a very short antenna wire, so I'm just going to leave this up here. It'll be underneath the body and out of the way. I put on the two wires for the batteries, for the battery, excuse me, singular. You'll notice I've got a bit of an air gap here, some space. I talked to somebody who's had experience with this kit and the Losi. In fact, I would definitely consider him an expert. He's very young, but his family owns a local racetrack and hobby store. He's been working at the hobby store for years. He's raced everything from two-wheel electric buggies up through all-wheel drive, gas. Mainly he's been focused on off-road because that's what they race at their track. But as I said, he's got a lot of experience and he knows a lot about handling and tuning. I spent about an hour talking with him the other day, and he was just a wealth of knowledge about you know, tuning combinations and things like that for this and other vehicles. And he says that the only thing he didn't like about the Tekno short course truck is it tends to land a little nose forward. So you've kind of got to bear that in mind in your jumping style and things like that. So I'm really glad that I've taken as much weight off of here as possible. So it's going to be interesting to see how this weighs out. I'm hoping I am at or below the minimum weight so that I can add ballast without a cost, as it were. That ballast I'm going to add rearward, so that's why I moved this. I positioned it sideways and moved it backwards a bit. I might even make a larger mounting plate here. I might make one of my own so that it's a little longer, so I could scooch this back another 1/4 to 1/2 inch to try to continue moving weight rearward. I'm going to position the battery as far rearward as possible. I may even modify this box here to move it further back. It does seem like everything is positioned forward on this vehicle, and that might be an issue. So things that I might do would be to trim this section out here, remove the entire battery portion here, the mounting thing, and set it up so the battery can come back as far as this bulkhead. That would be about almost a 1/2 inch rearward. So we'll see what goes with that. Another thing might be to mount the battery so it's up on its side, or use shorty packs. There's a variety of things that I can do to try to move weight backward without making without actually adding physical weight items. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. So the body posts are on. I went ahead and screwed these on. I've pretty much used titanium throughout and aluminum any place that I could. Any of the blue screws are all anodized aluminum. All of the screws are, everything else is titanium. I don't think I've used more than a couple of steel pieces of hardware on this vehicle. There were some things I could not change, like the droop screws. Those are as low as the center of gravity gets, so I'm not worried about that. Got the titanium turnbuckles, titanium screws down here, titanium kingpins, so we're as light as we can be, and you know, as much high weight has been removed as well, so we're gonna just kind of play that by ear and see how it goes. So now I'm gonna show you a product. This is a magnetic body post marker kit by Biddy Design, and this is designed to help you set up body posts when the body is painted and you can't see through. Now, I had marked my body with body posts for the body posts. Unfortunately, I did it on the clear cover, and I peeled the clear cover off before I reamed the holes out. Mistake, happens, but it gives me an excellent opportunity to demonstrate how these work. So you pull the little magnets off of here. You have, basically there's 2 pieces and 4 sets. You have this piece here, and you have this round magnet with a hole in the middle. So we're going to place these guys up here on each body post. And, you know, to do this, I really need wheels and tires on here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and put those on, and I'm going to restart this. There is 4 of these body posts, caps, that you put on each of the body posts. Okay. You never want to let the magnets get up from below. They're a pain to get out. So these have a slot in them so that you can run a body pin through, but these are just so low that I really can't quite do that, not with the thick body pins I have. Let me see if I've got some thinner ones that I can substitute. Yeah, I think I got some. Let's see if these will work. See, the idea is just to keep these from coming away with the body as you're moving things around. There we go. At least I got it in one side. Okay. Perfect, but it should keep them from falling out or pulling away with the body. Now, on the back side, I can get them all the way through. The front side, because of the angle of the post and how short it is, can't seem to get them through. Let's try one more time. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Okay. So, now we hang our body over the posts, and we figure out where get our center line going, and look in from underneath. Just kind of line things up. Now we can take these magnets, which are pretty strong little suckers. Of course, that's what they're made for. As you can see, let me just look underneath here. going to slide this backwards a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, the magnets just move right along as I slide the body around. So that looks pretty centered up in the rear. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just looking down the rear of the car here. As you can see, I can move the body and the magnets just track along over the body. So I've just been making sure that everything is lined up right. Now I'm just kind of looking down the nose of the truck here. Oh. These are a really nice tool. And so now I can take a marker. I'm using the Bitty Design pen, and yeah, give it a second to dry before I move it next time. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry for a minute or two, and then I'll go ahead and remove them. So just note to those who are painting, I tried using some paint markers by Michaels, and not that thrilled with the result. The color's kind of patchy. It's hard to get a good result. And the color was a little darker than I was expecting, so I got a higher contrast than I really wanted for this right here. Not my favorite body paint job. This came out nice. I was kind of going for a yellow green, and I really should have used the fluorescent green on the whole body, and then used other greens for the radiation symbol, the radioactive symbol, and I did use a fluorescent yellow here, backed it with yellow, and then backed it again with white. But I would have still liked it to have been a little brighter, a little more vivid. I really need to get working with my airbrush. I bought one very recently, and with everything else I've had going on, I just haven't had time to really tinker with it. But I bought some really nice paints from, well, anyway, I'll cover all that in a separate video. No point in talking about that now. So anyway, as you can see, this is a really nice way to mark up a body that you haven't, that you've not got marked already, and that you've painted. So I'm really glad I got this little kit. It wasn't very expensive. Bitty Design makes nice products. They've got some really beautiful car bodies, and they've got a handful of products like this and that marker. The Bitty Design marker is phenomenal. It will work on things that that a Sharpie just won't leave a permanent mark on, but the Bitty Design marker will. And there's another product they make if you race touring cars, getting the right height, the legal height of the body off of the ground. They have a an aluminum piece that you slide their pen into, and depending on which side of the four sides of the, because it's like a square, a rectangle, it's about this long and it's square in shape, but each side is a different measurement, and it's marked on all four sides. So depending on what the legal height is for your class of touring car body, you can hang the body on your car, and then you can slide this along the tabletop next to your car and make a mark on the side of your body for cutting that is the exact distance from the ground to the center of the pen. And that's a really handy thing to have if you are trying to get competitive in a touring car or any car class, that for that matter, that requires a specific body height to ground measurement. Because you can change, like let's say you've put on a different set of tires, you've made suspension changes, and now your body's too tall. It's too low. So you can take this pen, you can set the right mark, you slide it along the ground, you make a trim on your body, all of a sudden your body's legal. And that's just very handy. So keep that in mind. And of course, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I know that product is out there, I've seen it, and I'm happy to recommend good stuff to you. So this, as you can see, is a very useful item to have. You may only use it, a few times a year, once a year, depending on how many kits you're building and such. But when you need it, there's nothing like it. So if, when you have the opportunity to pick one of these up, don't pass it up. Grab one, and you will find it helpful. So now I'm going to go ahead and auger these holes. No need to show you that on camera. So the body looks great. I wanted to show you the spacing on these lower panels. As you can see, there's not a lot of gap there. And if you wanted to, you could attach some more pieces, but I think that's pretty good. That's going to block most of the air from just bottlenecking up into the body. Plus we got a big open air vent here and here. So we should be good as far as the parachuting issues go. I want to show you a few other little things I did off cam. So I went ahead and closed up the receiver box with the cap, and again, all the blue hardware is all aluminum. I put on my switch, and I'm doing that with Velcro because I can remove the ESC if I need to with 3 screws from down below, because it's attached to a mounting plate. So if I need to remove the motor to service it or anything along those lines, I'm going to be bringing the ESC with it, and of course I need to take the switch along for the ride. So being able to just peel that up is nice, and being able to stick it down is equally handy. Now, the reason I've got it so accessible is not just so I can turn it on and off easy, but there's also the set switch here that you use in combination to get this into programming mode, which you seem to do very frequently with the Hobbywing ESCs. I don't say that as a negative, it's just the way they're designed. Anytime you make changes to the programming, you should reset your the various the steering and the throttle. It's a process of getting it into that mode, and then listening to the right tone of the beeps, hitting the trigger, pushing the button, putting the trigger to full brake, hitting it again, things of that nature. It's fairly simple, but it does need to be done frequently. So having the switch where you can get it to it easily with more than one hand is very helpful. So, and like I said, if I need to take out the ESC to be doing service or cleaning or any other reason, I want to be able to take the switch with it. I don't want to have to be peeling up old two-sided tape and retaping it. Another thing is that these switches, the plastic on them is very slick. Some two-sided tape doesn't seem to grip as well to them. I highly recommend taking a small piece of like anywhere from 300 to 600 grit sandpaper and roughing up the bottom of the switch. That will help tape adhere to it a lot easier. You'll get rid of that sticky surface. And let's see, everything else looks like we're all set up to begin kind of tuning the suspension. That's going to be pretty much the next step. You know, put a battery in here, put this on the tuning board, and start you know, measuring and aligning the suspension and getting it to the setup as far as camber and ride height, things of that nature. So there's still a lot to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click like and please subscribe to my channel.